All right, here we go. Module 6 already. So that means your Module 4 and 5 should be complete. Now, Module 6 is a big one. I apologize for that, but a good chunk of the course takes part in this one, and there are 4 parts to it. And then plus the assignment itself is quite a bit larger with developing an actual lesson plan. So let's get into it. All right, the module is titled Professional Knowledge. So this is how much knowledge do you actually have in the social sciences, and particularly for the course that you have now chosen to do your unit plan for. So stay focused on that one course for this entire module, and probably actually for the rest of this whole ABQ. All right, so part 1 of this module is what is this course about? That's what it's titled. So generally when you are given the course from your principal, the very next day the principal asks you for something called the whole course outline. You might also refer to it as a syllabus. So it actually defines how many assignments you usually give out, percentages, weighting for different things, what the course is. You will find as you move through this, you'll get lots of samples and some guidance in that. It's usually quite overwhelming for new teachers to have to plan out a whole course that they've never taught before, but hopefully going through this process, you'll get a better understanding of what should be included in that. My one area that I really ask people to pay attention to is how they want to weight the knowledge, thinking, communication, and application, the TAC chart. Depending on what you decide to do, and there is no right or wrong answer, but it's just a commitment you make. So if you say in the course outline you are going to weight their application different than their communication, then you have to stay true to that throughout the whole course. That this course outline really is a document that you're having them sign, and the parent sign, and yourself stating how the course is going to run. So make sure you stay true to that, because if ever a parent or a student comes back to you at the end of the course that you weren't true to it, it becomes an issue. So just be aware of that, of whatever you write in that outline is really what you intend to do throughout the whole course. So then you submit that course outline sample to the discussion area, and you comment on another person's. And then before you jump into the second part of this, it's just kind of a warning or a suggestion there. If you don't know what the terms learning goals and success criteria are, if your board hasn't been very forward about doing that or looking at that lingo, then please take the time to look at the resources I've posted. They mostly come from EduGains. Learning goals and success criteria are becoming more and more essential. It's something that's been going on in elementary for much longer than it has in secondary. In secondary, we are really working towards this co-constructed rubric situation and success criteria. It's quite new to us, so we're looking at how that works, especially in some of our senior 4U courses. Please take the time to look at those resources if you're not familiar with learning goals and success criteria. All right, so then part 2 is how am I being marked? The success criteria part of it. So just to clarify some language that's out there, because there's different ways you can label these things. At the end of the course, there's usually something called a culminating assignment. It might also be referred to as an ISU or a summative. Various wording here, but what people are trying to say is this big assignment, whatever it is part of 30% of the mark. So the 70-30 split is a done deal. That's a ministry done deal. You can't change that. But in this 30%, what has been common practice now is that you can divide that 30% and give a certain amount towards the exam and a certain amount towards a larger project that's at the end of the course. It's culminating and kind of demonstrates all of the strands together in it. So your exam might be worth 20% and your culminating project might be worth 10, maybe it's even 15-15. Maybe you think they don't do well on tests and exams, so you want to give 20% to the assignment and 10% to the exam. It's up to your professional judgment as well as your department and principal to okay that. Then the 70%, the rest of the course, is everything the students do throughout all the different units. So at the end of the unit, there's probably still another culminating task, and you can certainly make those to be tests, or you can make those to be other assignments, whatever you choose to do, and we'll look at that more when you do your unit plan. But that's what adds up to make the 70%. But whatever those unit culminating tasks are, is where the scaffolding really happens and really where it should be leading to that ultimate culminating piece for the exam. So I give the example when I taught HSB, this Society Challenge and Change. Their culminating for the whole course was to design their own social science experiment. So then one of the units going through the course really dealt with collecting data, because they were expected in their social science experiment to collect their own data and evaluate it. So you need to make sure that whatever you're doing as your accommodating task for your units somehow link back or connect in some kind of way. And every teacher has their own spin on that and their own way of doing that, but just think about that a little bit ahead of scaffolding when you're planning out this whole course thing. Alright, so then you post that, the culminating task or the culminating idea. What I'm looking for is a culminating for the whole course, because it's the backward design. So what are they going to do at the end of the whole course? And then when we're going to look at your unit plan piece, what is the culminating task that they're doing at the unit plan that's going to connect back to their whole course thing? Alright, so looking for the course culminating piece. What are we learning today? So this connects back to learning goals, of course. You're looking at the lesson template again, but I don't want you to repeat what you just did in the last module. And some of you might have already maybe jumped ahead a little bit too much, and you were looking for lesson plans that had to do with your unit, which is great, instead of necessarily like a template, like a Nipsing template, which is fine. So just post another similar lesson plan that you found wherever you find it, because the whole point when you develop your unit plan is not to go from scratch, that you are finding other resources and respinning them and making them yours and making them suitable for 21st century learners. So try not to repeat yourself, and you're looking to find a lesson that you could actually use for your class and critiquing it, right? And then hopefully you're modeling after that lesson plan when you're going to create the one you want for this particular module. All right, and then the last part of that is to really think of the so what. So whatever you're planning to do, especially in your unit plan or when you're looking at all of those expectations, breaking it down into like the parts that are really going to matter and really going to make them think a little bit harder, think outside the box. It's not just regurgitating information, it's them taking the knowledge and actually applying it and doing something with it. The so what. So what at the end of the day, what have they learned, what can they show me? And how are you going to engage those students in that kind of critical thinking during your lesson planning? Alright, so those are the 4 parts. Then you have to create a lesson plan. And I know it's terrible, everyone's dreaded thing, and I just want to be clear that I don't expect a full-fledged detailed lesson plan for the unit plan, for every unit, for every lesson in the unit plan, that I am just kind of expecting it for this one assignment to be really detailed. And I do want it to be a good lesson, and by that I don't mean a work period or you're just going to show a movie in class. There's certain value to those things, but I'm looking for your planning skills. So please show me something that has some DI, some technology integration, something you'd want your advisor or your associate from Nipsing to come and see and watch you teach. Make it something exciting. All right. And that is it, really. It is a lot, though, and I do apologize. But I said you get through the majority of this, then it's pretty easy after that for Module 7 and 8, and really Module 9 is just time set aside to work on the unit plan. All right, if you have any questions, feel free to email me anytime. Thank you.